it's Samantha from Scrapmaster's Paradise, and today I'm going to do my week number 13. I'm going to be caught up and try to do my one process video every Thursday from here on out. So on the blog next week, I'm going to have a bunch of catch-up tips and what I found helpful for catching up. I got my Happy Edition core kit in from HSN. I'm going to be using this for week 13 along with some Studio Calico kit parts and Freckled Fawn kit parts. I'm just trying to use up what I've got. Again, this week I have my photos in semi-chronological order. I haven't cut all my pictures down, so some of these 2x2s are out of order. I'll have my Project Life planner next to me so I can get those. And then I had 4 photos that I'm going to just kind of sprinkle in. These are just random photos from the week. There's no real story with these, so I'm just going to sprinkle those in where I can fit them, but I'm going to try to keep the rest of them pretty chronological. I'm going to just stick with design A's and just fill up as many design A's as it takes to fit my pictures. I make the page protectors and my journaling and stuff fit in with the pictures. My pictures are the main thing, so I have a lot of pictures again this week, and I'll have mostly pictures on my layouts probably. And I'm just going to turn on some music and get scrappy. So to start with, I grabbed my Project Life journal and I'm just going through the pictures, trying to get them in chronological order as best that I can. I had a lot of 2x2s this week, so I'm going to fill up a lot of these 3x4 spaces with those. And I'm just going to get all my pictures planned out for this first layout, and I'm going to get as many on here as I can. I'm trying to figure out where to put those little 2x2s. Decide to put them on one together since I had these workout photos. And I'm just arranging. I'm leaving that top 4x6 for the week title part this time. And all these cards I'm pulling are from that Happy Edition core kit. I'm just trying to make the layout sort of match and fill in the spaces with either journaling with lines on it or just plain filler cards. I did need some journaling, but the pictures really speak for themselves for the most part, so I could use a filler card here and there. Now I'm setting the rest of my pictures aside, and I'm going to work on that week number 13 title page. I pulled out some pink paisley alphabets. These are really thick, like thickers, but they're pink paisley and they've got some printed design on them that's really subtle. And now I need number 13, so I go to some other thickers. These ones are silver glitter thickers. They're foam and they looked really pretty. I use these again and again on this layout. And I found some washi tape in my stash from a previous kit. I just added a little bit of it here and there just to add some decoration to this card. And I'm just going to handwrite the dates this week. I have been using the roller date stamp, but I didn't want to use it for every single layout, so I just wrote on there the dates, and then I'm doing a tiny bit of journaling, kind of like a week in review, and then that card is done. For this card, I'm just going to talk about how I was home a lot this week since I had a cold, and so I just wrote on there about that. And this snow picture, I'm really not exactly sure if this was last week's snow picture or it actually snowed in week number 13. I did not have it written down, so I'm just incorporating it in like it snowed. Since I had already done last week's layout, I didn't have a place for this 2x2 photo, so I wasn't about to go back to my week number 12 and try to put this in. I'm just making it in my week 13. Nobody's gonna know, the difference, so later on I'll still be happy that I had the picture because we had so much snow. Now I just grabbed one of the little circle labels from a Studio Calico kit, and I'm writing in there about the snow. And hopefully this will be our last snow. So I'm piecing together one of those journaling cards. This is just one of those 3x4s, and I'm using a 4x4 photo, and I'm just turning it into a 4x6. And I have a little picture to go along with this. I'm just layering those. So I wanted a mat around this layer. I just cut a little piece of white cardstock and attached the picture to that. And then I'm going to do my journaling on here too. So I'm going to have these layered up together. I wanted something to decorate this card, so I ended up looking through a bunch of different embellishments and stamps and things, and I came across these vellum stickers that I used last week, and I wanted to use one of them if I could find one about his goofy face. And so I'm choosing one, and I decided to stick it on some white cardstock and cut it out, and that way it would show through all the way because these are translucent and it was on a dark picture, so I didn't want to have it not show up like the ones last week didn't show up very bright. Now I'm just doing my journaling. Then I put a title on this card. I'm describing our workout, so I'm just writing workout on there. We started being able to do our walks again around the lake since it was warming up this week and we got to take a walk most days. And so I'm adding that here. And I needed it to point downward because it's talking about the pictures below. So I grabbed this little look arrow from the Freckled Fawn March kit stamp set, and I'm just stamping it in some teal ink to point downward, and now I'm going to do my journaling. I was filming this late afternoon and my husband just came in, so he came to the room and did this. I thought it was cute. Thought I'd leave it in there because I just thought it was really funny. I'm just doing my journaling on this card. I end up talking with him, and you'll see me pause here and there because he's in the room kind of talking with me as I'm doing this and kind of commenting on the photos, and I thought it was really cool. Next, again, I'm piecing together one of those 4x4 photos with a 3x4 journaling card. This is a great way to use up some of those 3x4 journaling cards. And then I was trying to find one that had ice cream on it. I thought about this one, but then I looked at it and it looks like cotton candy. So I don't know if it's cotton candy or ice cream, but it looks more like cotton candy to me, and I decided not to use it. I really like to put little titles over my journaling, so again, I'm just adding some little alphabets. These are some vellum stickers that came in a previous Studio Calico kit. Deciding if there's anything else this layout needs, and I wanted to write a little bit on this picture of the dogs and me snuggling, so I just wrote doggy snuggles on there with a little arrow. And then I'm going to embellish some things here and there. I grabbed an enamel heart and added it to that card. And then I grabbed some enamel dots. I'm just kind of adding them. I like them in groups of 3. I just think it's really appealing to your eye. And down here I just added 1 or 2. And then I'm just grabbing my page protector. This was the back of week number 12. And I'm just putting this page in there. And then I'll show it to you. Now I'm moving on to my second page. I'm just arranging my photos, and I'm going to pick out some journaling cards from the Happy Edition. I'm actually filming this page the next day in the morning while my husband was getting ready for work, and I'm kind of like squeezing this layout in where I can get it, and that's just something you can do. You can work on your project life in sections. You don't have to knock the whole thing out all at once. I was having some little blocks of time. I decided to take advantage of it and finish my week 13, and so I just leave my stuff on my desk. Hopefully you have a space where you can leave your stuff out, but if not, then just work on one page at a time and get as much done as you can. Since this was a different day, I had already went through my cards, and you can see I have a little stack of them here. I went ahead and got these ready for my organization, and I have a link to how I organize my cards in the description down below. You can check that out. I just went ahead and got them sorted out like this last night while we were watching some TV. And so I had them ready to go this morning, and I could just flip through and not have to flip through giant stacks of cards. I just have all the cards in this smaller stack. I had done some test prints of some of the printables I have in the SP Digi shop. I didn't print these with the Silhouette program, so they don't have the registration marks. I'm just going to have to cut them by hand. I left this in here because I thought it was a good thing to show, because I know not everybody has a Silhouette Cameo that does print and cut, so I'm just cutting these out with my Cutter Bee scissors around the edges. And you can see I'm just going right around the edges. At this point, my husband is about to leave for work. He came in the room, and we're just kind of talking about the photos and showing him. We usually have one serious photo and a bunch of goofy photos, so I was just kind of talking to him about that, and I love that we incorporate the goofy photos in. So to do the corners of these little labels, I grabbed my 1-inch circle punch, and I'm just punching around the edges here to make the little label shape. And it's not perfect, but it does the job well enough. Nobody's going to know that the corners aren't exactly, how they were printed out. And the circle labels that I have work with a 1-inch circle punch, so I had to cut some of the paper on the side to be able to punch this out, and I'll show you. It just looks really cute with the white around the edges. That was just to show you guys how those little circle ones work, and it's easy to use without a silhouette cameo. So I have these labels now that I can use on this page. So for these new glasses photos, there's a goofy photo and a serious photo, and I have them sitting next to each other, and I'm using the same journaling card for these. I just cut one of those bifold journaling cards in half, and I'm using a half on each side of these photos, and then that whole little top section kind of coordinates together. And again, I'm going to those mini alphas and adding a big title across the top. I really like having a little title with my journaling, so I grabbed 2 different alphas and I incorporated a little bit of brown here. Now I'm using this one as a template to piece together the opposite side of this part, and then I'll show you how they look good together. You can see I used the same card and I got 2 4x6s out of the same card, and I'm just continuing my journaling on this card. I had some space left at the bottom after I was done journaling, so I decided to grab a stamp. I ended up using this stamp. I think this one's from January, and it says Picture Perfect. So I'm using some brown ink to incorporate the brown again on this side, and that kind of wraps this whole little section together, so it's one cohesive little strip along my Project Life layout. And I wanted to grab some little arrows to point towards the picture. I'm going back to those little wood veneer shapes. They have some shapes in with those little alphabets, and so I'm just adding those little things onto this picture. This next picture is kind of self-explanatory, so I just decided to put a big title across the top here. The little alphabets and the big love are both from the same Snap Studio set. And I decided to just grab a little heart from my wood veneers. I'm just trying to find a plain heart, and added that, and then I called this one done. Now I'm grabbing one of those labels that I had already cut out, and I'm attaching it to the sky photo. I got to open my moon roof, so I took some pictures that day. The sky was really beautiful. Then I grabbed my tiny attacher to attach that with the tiny staples. On this next one, I'm just going to write a big title too. I'm grabbing various alphabets from various sets and just writing out I love color. So I'm just trying to make it colorful with all my little alphabets. And when I was doing my last week's Project Life for week 12, I talked about this bacon and eggs toy, and here is the story about that. I told you it was going to come up again on this week. Snow actually ended up eating the entire toy, and the only reason why I didn't completely freak out was because this is an all-natural hippie type toy. It's made out of untreated leather, all natural ingredients, and the insides were like coconut strings, and they were even organic. So she ended up eating everything but the inside little string pieces and ended up digesting it or whatever. Next, I had a bunch of random doggy photos I'm just going to attach on here and keep this one pretty simple. I added some journaling with another one of those little labels and then called this one done. Again this week I had one of those horizontal 3x4s, so I decided to use it on this 4x6 space and just do a little bit of journaling. It's of the fridge. I cleaned out the fridge and organized it a little bit and did some journaling, and that was it. I added a couple more enamel dots in a group of 3 just to add some little decoration. And that layout's done, so I'm stuffing it into a Design A page. And here's a look at the whole page all done. Now this is page number 3, and just for the sake of time, I went ahead and cut out all of the photo arranging and card organizing. These are again all from the Happy Kit. I'm doing my journaling on this little star card. And I'm talking about how I always try to get a photo of my husband while he's eating dinner, and he always makes the goofiest faces. So I just embrace it. I include it in my album. And of course, you know, the impromptu photos that aren't staged are always the most exciting photos, so I just put them in. He's always making such silly faces, and I absolutely love that about him, even if I don't get my picture perfect picture. With the green alphas, I just spelled goof, and I'm using some Amy Tan stickers here. Just adding one, they're puffy stickers. And then for this next one, I'm just going to do some journaling and add a little title. It says today is, and I'm writing lazy because now I'm getting into the weekend photos from this week. And we always just try to have a nice lazy weekend. That's just some of our favorite times, is just spending time together, being lazy, hanging out around the house for the most part. But this weekend I actually did have some people over on Saturday to get crafty together, and my husband left and did some errands that day, and he came back with some cute little treats for us, so I took a picture of that. And then here is the table spread of all the food that I got for this hosting, and I'm writing about how I was really excited to have some friends over and finally kind of make some friends here. I had a little space at the bottom, so I decided to add one of these little puffy stickers on there. And then I'm zooming out and just looking at it to see if I need anything else. I decided to grab some more enamel dots and just add a little cluster of those. And I grabbed a couple more for this other card. And I needed some journaling to go along with those top photos, so I grabbed another one of these label shapes, and I'm cutting it out the same way I did last time, and then I'm going to cut off the end of it so that it'll hang off the burrowing picture. It's just Emma burrowing in a dog bed in a blanket, and then she poked her head out and just went to sleep. It was the cutest thing, so I'm just going to journal about it a little bit. Always try to catch her doing this, but I never do usually catch her on camera, so I put a little sticker there, and now I'm just stuffing it into the back of that Design A page. And here's a look at page number 3. Only one more to go. So page number 4 is all of our weekend, and so I'm just writing lazy days at the top, as we had a lazy Sunday. On this card, I realized I spelled something wrong, so I decided to go to my stash, grab the same card from the stack, and then I put that card back because I can use the other side of that card at a later time. and then I'm just going to do my journaling on here. The journaling on this card describes the photos to the left and right, so I added some arrows pointing to both of those photos. So for this card, I'm just adding a little title. I grabbed a puffy sticker that said darling, and then I'm going to spell out the word doggies, and then do a little bit of journaling about how they love to sunbathe and watch out the door. They do this every morning, and they've already been out for a while, so it's not that they really want to go outside. They just love guarding their house and sunbathing. Alright, since my camera ran out of space, I had to get everything off my camera, and so I went ahead and finished up my layout real quick. I moved the darling down just a little bit so it went with the doggies a little bit better. Added this big SP flare, and then I took the washi tape from the Sugar Rush scrapbook kit and just put some on the edges and then cut around it really carefully so it just fit in on the card. And then these two photos were actually printed next to other photos, so they were cut in half. I just used a piece of cardstock to hold those together. Now they look like a 4x6. And I'm just going to slip them into another Design A page, and then my week will be done. I ended up having 4 pages total, but my first page was on the back of week number 12. So I'll just walk you through the whole thing really quick. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos. I put out a lot of new videos every week, and Bob is really going right now. I'm sorry if he's really annoying. He's kind of annoying me right now. And be sure to check out my blog daily for projects and tutorials. I'll try to have week number 14 for you next Thursday. Thanks for watching. Bye.